Hello everyone, so today we are going to be going over our study guide for topic 11, and it says which figure is a translation of figure 1. First of all, I need to know that a translation means that I'm moving either up or down or left or right. So I need to look at my figures from figure 1 and see which ones do I move up and down or left and right. So I'm going to look here, and here I can see that it looks like I have a reflection when I go to figure C. Looks like I have a reflection, which is not a translation. Then if I look at A, it also looks like figure A. I'm doing a reflection over my X and then a rotation. And then if I look at figure B is not similar, nor is it congruent to figure 1. So I know that that is just not a translation. So my answer should be D, none of the above. Now I am going to look at question number 2. And it says, the vertices of the figure KLMN are, and then it tells me my vertices. If figure KLMN is reflected across the line x equals 2, find the coordinates of vertex N prime. So I'm going to use some graph paper and I'm going to graph this. It says that my first points So my original K is at -2, -1. L is at -2, -3. M is at -5, -3. And N is at -5, -1. And then it tells me I have a reflection across x equals -2. So I'm going to find x equals -2, or sorry, x equals 2. And that is going to be the line right here. So I'm going to have a reflection across here. So let's list my new points. K is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So my K prime is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So here would be K prime. And then my N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. So I'm going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. And here is my N prime. It's only asking for the vertex of N prime, so I can just figure out what this is right now. Go back to your origin point, and that is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, -1. So then my coordinates of N prime are 9, -1. Okay, let's look at question number 3. It says, what are the vertices of the resulting image A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, E prime after rotating the figure 90 degrees around the origin? So this is where I need to think of that chart, where if we're going counterclockwise, I'm going to put CC for counterclockwise, and we're going, let me see if I can move this over so you guys can see better what I'm writing. If we're going 90 degrees counterclockwise, that means my OG points are X, Y, and my new rotation points would be -X, or -Y, X. I'm going to go through and we're going to list for 180, my OG points are X, Y, and if I have a rotation counterclockwise, I would have -X, -Y. And last but not least, 270 degrees, my OGs are X, Y, and my new values would be Y, -X. So this is talking about a rotation counterclockwise. Remember, if it doesn't say anything, it's always counterclockwise, 90 degrees around the origin. So I need to list my coordinate points. A is at 4, 5. C is at 5, 5, 4. B is at 4, 4. D is at 2, 1. And E is at 1, 2. Now we are going to do a rotation 90 degrees. So my coordinate points, my y is going to go first now, and it's going to become negative, and my x is going to stay the same. So A prime is going to be, instead of 4, 5, it's going to be negative 5, negative y, and then my x, which is 4. Next, I have B prime, which was 4, 4. So I'm going to have my y be negative. So negative 4, 4. Next, I have C prime. For C prime, my original was 5, 4. So my y is going to become negative. So negative 4, and my x remains the same. So 5. D prime is going from 2, 1 to my y being negative. So I'm going to have negative 1, 2. And last but not least, I have E prime, which is going to be, I'm going to have my 2, or my y, be negative. So negative 2 and 1. And that is a reflection, or a rotation of 90 degrees counterclockwise. Remember, this chart is super important to remember for all rotations. Next, number 4 says, draw the image triangle ABC after a translation of 3 units right and 1 unit down and a reflection across the x-axis. So the first thing that's happening is I am having a translation, 3 units right and 1 unit down. So I'm going to go over 3 units. Let's start at A, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 right and 1 down. Here's my A prime. Next, I'm going to have B go 3 units right, 1, 2, 3, 1 unit down. There's my B prime. And last but not least, I have C, which is going 3 units right and 1 unit down. So then I have C prime. Okay, so after I have made my translation, now I am going to have a reflection across the y-axis. So I'm going to find my y-axis. And if it's across my y-axis, that means that I'm going here. And if this is 1 away, we're going to be 1 away. So my new point for A prime prime. And then B is 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 away. Here's B prime prime. And last but not least, C is 2 away. So we're going to be 2 away. And I get C prime prime. So this is my final image. Next, number 5 says, consider the figures on the coordinate plane. Which 2 figures are congruent? So remember, when I'm talking about congruent, that means that they are going to have the same size and angles. So if I look at B, B is 1, 2, 3 units long. This one is 2 units long, this one is 2 units long, and this one is 2 units long. So I can cross B out and say figure B is not congruent because it is not the same size. And then next, I see that this is 1 unit long and 1 unit long, and this one is 2, so I can say D is not congruent. So my figures of C and A are congruent. Next, part B says, describe the sequence of transformations that maps the congruent figure. So remember, transformations are anything of a rotation, reflection, or translation. So if I look, I'm trying to get from figure A to figure C. So the first thing I can do is maybe let's look. I have a feeling I'm going to have a rotation. So I'm going to list my first coordinates for figure A. Let's label this X, Y, Z, and, oops, sorry, you can't see. We're going to label X, Y, Z, and H. Sure. So my X coordinate was at 2, 2. Y coordinate was at 4, 2. My Z coordinate is at 4, 1. And last but not least, my H coordinate is at 1, 1. So I've listed all of my coordinates. Now let's do a rotation. If this point, if I want it to be over here, I'm going to have to take my figure and I start here, rotate around this way. So that is going to be a 270-degree rotation. So my coordinate points are now, for my new shape, going to be X prime is at, for remember, 270. X prime is going to be at 2, -2. Y prime is going to be at, my Y remains the same, so 2, -4. Z prime is going to be at 1, -4, and H prime is going to be at 1, -1. So if I graph these points, I'm at 2, -2, and then I'm at 2, sorry, that's -2 too. I'll use a different pen. I am at 2, -2, so I'm down here, and this is for X prime. Next, I am at 2, -4, and that's for Y prime. Then I am at 1, -4, and this is for Z prime, and last but not least, I am at 1, -1, and this is H prime. So here is my new figure, which looks to be the same. So now I did a 270-degree counterclockwise, and the next thing, 270-degree counterclockwise, and then the next thing I do is I'm going to do a translation. So I want to get H prime over here to H prime prime. So I'm going to translate 1, 2, 3, 4 left and 2 up. So I'm going to write translation, and I went over 1, 2, 3, 4 up 2. So 4 left and 2 up. That is my sequence. Okay. Let's look at number 6. It says, is figure AEFG similar to ABCD? So remember, when I'm talking about similar, that means they have the same angles. So if I look here, I am trying to see if all of these are going to have the same angles when I'm looking there. Sorry, we had some disruptions in the hallway. So I'm trying to figure out if these are congruent. I can see that these are going to have these same angles. So I can say yes, congruent, or sorry, not congruent, similar. But I don't know how to explain why yet, so I need to figure out how I'm getting from all of the different points. So my coordinate for A, we are at 0, 0. For B, we were at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For C, we are at negative 1, 2. And for D, we are at negative 1, 0. And then I am having, it looks like it's getting larger because this is my original shape, and it looks like it's getting larger, but I need to figure out what it's getting larger by. So my 0, 0 remains the same. Then for my B, which turns into E, is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 8. Then my F, which is the same as C, is at negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then my D is at, which turns into G, negative 2, 0. So then I need to figure out the relationship. How am I getting from one point to another? So remember, I can take any of my points, so 8, and divide them, and I get a whole number of 2. Let's double check. If I do 4 divided by 2, I get 2. So I can say that there is a dilation with a scale factor of 2. Okay, next, looking at number 7, it says is triangle ABC is similar to DEF. What is the sequence of transformations that maps ABC to DEF? So I'm looking, and let's look at A. It says a rotation of 90 degrees around the origin. So I'm starting at A, B, C, and it says a rotation 90 degrees around the origin. So if I find A, the coordinates for A are 1, 1. The coordinates for B are 4, 4. And the coordinates for C are at 5, 1. And they're saying a rotation 60 or 90 degrees around the origin. So remember, if I do a rotation, I need to follow what happens here. So my y becomes negative and goes first, so then I get negative y x. So then here I'm going to have negative 1 positive x. Then I'm going to have negative 4 positive 4. Then I'm going to have negative 1 positive 5. And those would be if I have a rotation of 90 degrees. Then it says there's a translation up 3 and 2 to the left. Let's just plot one of these points. So I'm at negative 1, 1. If I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the left, okay, that could be it. But let's keep going. I would have negative 4 and then positive 4. And it says up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the left. Okay, so I'm here, and I had a point here. And then last but not least, I'm at point negative 1, 5. And I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the left. Oh. So that means that this would be my triangle if that's happening. So we know that that one does not work. Look, that worked all the way. Uh-oh, sorry, I graphed that wrong. It would have been that, right? This would have worked all the way up until the very last one. So make sure you go through all of the different options. The next one is a reflection across x equals negative 1. So I'm going to find x equals negative 1. There's where x equals negative 1. And it says we're going to have a reflection across that first. So if A is 2 away, A prime is 2 away. If B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Here's my B prime. And last but not least, if C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So C, there is my C prime. Now it's telling me that this figure, which looks to be the same, has a translation of 3 up. So that means it's moving up 3. 1, 2, 3. That hits where I needed it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, we just found it. So it is a reflection across x equals -1 and a translation of up 3. I would suggest when we do this on the test that you draw all of the things out until we find that one that actually works. You will have plenty of grid paper to be doing this. Next, if we look at A8, it says in figure B and C are parallel lines. Remember, we could also draw the arrow here to indicate that they are parallel. Select all the statements that are true. So the first statement we need to remember, or the first thing we need to remember, is about our vertical angles. So 2 is vertical to 72, so that means they are the same. And also we need to remember that when they share a line and are parallel, these angles are going to be congruent. So 5 and 7 are also congruent. The other thing that we need to know is that when I am adding or looking at a line adds up to 180. So if a line adds up to 180 and 72 degrees are going here, and this is my line, I have to do 180 minus 72, which is 108. That means angle 1 is 108 and angle 3, because these are vertical. And then remember, adjacents add up to, and then this would be 108 and 4 would be 108. So I need to figure out which statements are true here. This one says angle 2 and angle 7 are equal. So I find angle 2 and angle 7, and let's look, they're both 72 degrees, so they are equal. Next one says angle 1 and angle 5, angle 1 and 5 are equal. Well, we figured out angle 1 is 108 and angle 5 is 72. So that's not true. Next one says angle M is equal to 72, angle 5 is equal to 72 degrees. Let's find 5. We did say, because of these vertical angles, that that is true. Next is angle 3 is equal to 90. We didn't have any 90-degree angles, but let's just double check. Angle 3 is not 90, it's 180. And last but not least, angle 6 is equal to 106, which is true because we knew that we had a straight line there, which adds up to 180. Next, question number 9 says, what is the value of x? So this is where I'm taking a triangle, and I am given all of my values of my angles just in replacement of x. I know that a triangle adds up to equal 180 degrees. So I can say that x plus 5, and then plus 7x plus 5. So this plus x is equal to 180. Then I need to solve. I have x plus 7x gives me 8x plus 1 gives me 9x plus 5 plus 5 is 10 equals 180. Then I'm subtracting 10 from both sides. I get 9x equals 9x equals 170. Then I do 170 divided by 9. And 170 divided by 9 will give me x equals 20. I just checked my work, and 170 divided by 9 is not 20. So then I went up and I was trying to figure out where I made a mistake. And I said, which you guys probably caught very early on, I put 7x plus 5, and it's supposed to be 7x minus 5. So that stays a plus. 7x minus 5. And then I combine like terms, and 5 minus 5 gives me, this should be 0. Sorry, this is a mess. Then I get 9x equals 180, and I divide both by 9, and I get x equals 20. And then last but not least, number 10 says, are the triangles similar? What are the measurements of the angles? So if I know that these are both 90 degrees, and this is 90 degrees, that means that 3x plus 6x plus 90 degrees all equals that straight line. So I can set up an equation and say 3x plus 6x plus 90 equals 180. Then I combine like terms and I get 9x plus 90 equals 180. Then I'm going to subtract 90, and I get 90 equals 9x, and divide everything by x and get 9. Then I'm going to plug in 10. Then I get 3 times 10, which gives me this angle is 30 degrees, and then I do 6 times 10, which gives me this is 60 degrees. Then I know if they are congruent, which I could prove now, that this is going to be 60 degrees, and that's going to be my 30, and here is my 90. So, yes, congruent. And my angles are 90 degrees, 60 degrees, and 30 degrees. Let Miss Banky and I know if you have any questions. We will do a little review before the test, like a really short one. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.